On the cutting edge of anomaly research, you are about to experience The Evidence with your host, 3D pioneer and image analyst with Mars X3D, E.W. Gannett.
Well, hi there, and welcome to episode 115 of The Evidence. This is your buddy Dave over Mars X3D, and if you're new to the channel, you'll want to learn X3D viewing. Now there's a link down below. It'll take you a couple minutes to watch the video, and everybody can do it. If you have normal 3D vision, absolutely, you can do X3D viewing. We have children doing it and old folks doing it, like myself. And it's really a lot of fun, and people are always amazed when they discover how simple it really is. There are a couple other things down below you should be aware of. Now we have a join button there. For those of you who wish to consider supporting this work in some fashion, every tiny bit helps, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Also, if you have yet to receive your signed copy of Martian Archaeology, Volume 1, there's a link in a description down below how to get that copy to you. And there are 21 absolutely jaw-dropping 3D anomalies in there that even for your skeptic friends, when they look at them, they're going to have a little bit of trouble saying it's all pareidolia and junk. It's interesting because I had a guy just today saying, well, it's all pretty much pareidolia. And you know, I kind of agree. We're so hardwired to call, to make sense out of things that are out of chaos. We're genetically hardwired to do that. And so people find it a very useful smokescreen on which to project their own fantasies or biases or whatever it might be. But the kicker to that is that, yeah, might most of it be pareidolia, except in those cases where non-fractal mathematics are present. Non-fractal being the indication of intelligent agency. We've described this in other videos. I won't go into it right now. We have some really interesting things this week from Rami Bar-Ilan and San Kotviks and others, and there's no sense talking about it. It's much better just to have a look. Let's start out today with one of Rami Bar-Ilan's finds from 2020. He calls this a head, although I see it more as a possible mechanism. We're probably both wrong, but it's clear from the non-fractal shapes that this is not natural. Did you know? Rami often does paintings of his finds, and they're quite interesting. You'll want to check those out at his website, linked down below. Researcher San Kotviks has really been on a roll lately. This is one he found in Nev's GMAC of Curiosity 3315, and you can see in this context view that it's a good-sized block of stone, if it is stone. Let's get closer. This is basically a trapezoidal block with some really interesting bits and pieces. The first thing that jumps out is that nice, even archway in the center, with a smaller section just inside, separated into 4 square pieces, kind of like a window pane. And it's odd that just to the left of that is another smaller section, also divided into 4 square pieces. Are these carvings, or is this once again some kind of derelict mechanism? And look at the shadow, front right-hand corner. Is that a pipe coming out? Or is that just a knob casting a shadow? Then we've got the right side of the block, where we can faintly see a rectangle with nice, even, diamond-shaped gridwork inside. And just below that, a circular depression surrounded by tiny spheres, all the same size. And top center, we have a knobby cross defying explanation. I'm going to ask NASA a question here. Why is it that we get better resolution from traffic cameras than from multi-million-dollar imaging systems custom built for the various Mars missions? The answer, in my opinion, is that they do have ultra-high resolution cameras on the rovers, but they trash out the images before they put them on the public servers and keep the good stuff for their classified files. I mean, seriously, why would they show us the real deal when, in their opinion, we have no need to know? Before we leave this GMAC, there are a couple other weird items to have a look at. We've got all kinds of compression artifacts in this highly magnified image, but still, look at that pointed thing on the right. Does that look natural to you? And on the left, we see an oddly shaped piece composed of two completely different materials. And did you notice these 4 hemispheres, 3 along the body and 1 front dead center on the right? Let's keep moving. I'm a bit surprised at this artifact from Nev's GMAC of Percy 288 and 289 for 2 reasons. I'm surprised that NASA left it in and left it so clearly visible. And I'm surprised no one else has pointed it out yet. This really looks like a megalithic stone wall to me. Look at the joint work, and especially look at the regular flat finishing stones that form the top, exactly as we do here on Earth. Yes, of course, this could probably occur naturally, but here's the kicker for me. How about that neat dog-leg joint right here? If the stone fractured that way, why did it retain the same beveling and distances between stones as the other pieces? Now, if there are any professional or degreed geologists out there who can explain how this formed and maybe share some examples from our own geology, I'll backpedal in a heartbeat and proclaim this to be false interpretation. That is, if your evidence clearly points that way. And by the way, I'm fully aware that no so-called serious scientist would ever watch a little minnow channel like this. But maybe one of you proud weirdos out there, you know who you are, might be acquainted with someone with the qualifications to take a serious look at this and offer an explanation. As usual, I won't hold my breath. Here's one that San Kotvik shared with us just the other day. I don't have any metrics to work with on this one, unless maybe Jimmy Roberts wants to chase it down for me. Please, Jimmy. But I would say the circled object is probably no more than 35 to 45 feet away from the rover. So it's not really all that big, but it is interesting. We've got a very clearly defined square opening into this rock, and it even has a bit of a header over it, catching the sunlight, and maybe even a kind of framework on the left and right sides as well. And look at that nice clean 45-degree angle slanting down to the right of it. And did you notice this rounded end on the right, made of a completely different material? And how about this, well, I don't know, tombstone, for want of a better word? slanting out of the sand. Most of you have seen the faint rectangle on the front, but let me outline it for you. Any one of these items would be interesting all by itself, but put them all together in one place and it's just really clear, at least to me, that this isn't natural. Here's another one from Rami way back in 2015. His finds are often quite blurry, but also they're really worth taking a look at anyway. This looks like an intake scoop of some kind to me. It's hard to tell if the depression on top is square or circular, but you can see from the lighting that it opens into the interior of the scoop. And did you notice that perfect ring down center front? You can see that Curiosity's body is photobombing this one on the left. So once again, why, in the name of disclosure, is this object so blurred out if it's only feet away from the rover? Let's wrap things up today with another great find by San Kotviks from Percy 298. Let me advise you beforehand that to many of you, this won't look like much of anything. But to me, this is one of the most compelling finds I've seen in a long time. This big, black, beautiful monolith screams manufactured to me all day long. And of course, there's this big, white, rectangular block the monolith is leaning up against. But let's move in and concentrate on our monolithic subject. Now this time, instead of me going into a long involved inventory of what I'm seeing, why not just let your eyes roam from the top left down to the bottom right and see how many non-fractal bits and symmetries you can pick out. I can't help wondering if this might be the backside of a statue. Down there on the right, we have this nice square, all the same thickness, and with spheres bordering the top on two sides. And this might be just a trick of light and shadow, but it really looks a lot like a cylinder to my eyes. In any case, this is a splendid find by San Kotviks. I hope at least some of you are clicking the links below and checking out the amazing GMAX by Neville Thompson and Neil Spence and some of the others. They're a great place to start if you want to do your own anomaly hunting. This promises to be a really interesting year because we have so many new researchers joining the upper echelons of anomaly hunters, and we welcome you all with open arms. Please consider posting on our Facebook site, and if you saw something you liked, please give it a thumbs up. That keeps me in business over here. To all my friends and to all you proud weirdos out there, you know who you are. Stay safe, stay weird, and be well.